Yep, I think the Purge there is pretty strong. The Dispel on hand, taking away basically both of their single target stuns, is pretty painful. And Shackle, it's already unreliable. You don't have to deal with having to wait for the Aphotic Shield use as well. The Venge Missile can kind of mitigate that, especially once you get the Ag's timing. So you can just stun, maybe just die, stun again. So it does kind of provide a counterfoil, but still takes time to get that up and running on Avenge, especially if they do shift that support. So just preventing Execration from having a saving support. It does seem like they assume the Monkey King's safe lane for Tino, so they're not expecting that flexed off. We'll have to see if Execration kind of subverts that. Dreammaker will have to pick up first, and it does look like they're lacking a mid laner perhaps here, unless they run to Wind Ranger mid, which is also a distinct possibility, but the matchup against Slashrack doesn't feel amazing. Then again, last time around, I believe, if I'm not wrong, they ran Wind Ranger mid against Kotl mid, so it didn't work out too badly as well. No, they shifted to Wind Ranger. Did they? Man, my memory's really bad.
Well, Mars will be the final pickup anyway for Dreammaker. So, I mean, it looks like mid-Mars could still be like mid-Wind Ranger if you want. I think support Wind Ranger is probably the better way to go about this, but Dreammaker do certainly have a lot of flexibility here with their draft. From what I can understand, though, it is going to be support Venge, support Wind Ranger, or alternatively support Tide, support Wind Ranger. Either way, I guess. Execration, final pickup for them. They're also lacking a support right now. Unless they're not, and it's Pos 5 Lion, Pos 4 Monkey King, which could also be the case.
I don't mind that dual lane. Sure, it's dual melee for the Night Stalker and Monkey, but the Monkey King can just kind of play with the Jingu run up, try to harass out the opposing support, and just kind of build up stacks, play with the Tree Dance sound line. We have seen that by itself be effective. You know, cutting off smokes, getting information out. It's a huge contribution from Monkey King already. And then the eventual Mage Slayer does make it awkward for some of the spell uses here on Dreammaker. Although it doesn't feel like it's as big of an issue, but it does take off spell damage overall, not just magical. So it should still have some decent enough impact in slowing down the output of Mars and maybe to the extent the Clinks. I'm actually not sure if the wording allows it to stop the output on orb effects. That's actually an interesting thought. If it does, that's highly valuable. If not, then I guess it makes sense, but it's one of those things with Dota. Like, would spell... Okay, so I believe the wording on Mage Slayer is reduction on spell damage.
Okay.
Does burning arrows count as spell damage?
I think it should. The burning barrage or searing arrows, do you mean?
The searing arrows, yeah. I mixed them up.
Oh, well,
Oops,
searing
yeah,
arrows isn't... No, I think searing arrows is an orb effect, so I think it shouldn't. I mean, it is... It's not really a spell.
Still is. I guess not, technically, yeah.
I mean, could you consider...
That would sound busted against orb effects, yeah. That would
they're
be
all... They're all spells, right? But then it's like, well, if everything's a spell, then why would you even use that wording? Like, what? You get my point? Like, why would there be different words? Why is there different words in the first place, though, is the real question. Why is everything so darn complicated? It's like, you just gotta go figure it out. Just join a demo, figure it out yourself. Execration, they'll go for Undying pickup to finish things off.
Undying.
What?
All right. Yeah, pause 1 Undying. Everyone's been talking about the core Undying on offlane and even the pause 1. So I'm keen to see how much Tino can get. I think the timing's Echo Saber that a lot of people talk about. So we'll see how much he can get. Look at it on paper, though. 2 big strength heroes in front. Even the Clinks, to a certain extent, doesn't enjoy his strength being sapped away, as he does need as much durability as possible, even outside of Death Pact. So as the Undying, you can kind of bully out and try to leverage that. Should be interesting. Very different draft from Execration to close out. They do have a very quick pace to play with. And the great thing about their lineup is they don't have the longest cooldowns to wait for, so they can just constantly force this aggressive playstyle up against Dreammaker. They've got Ravage that kind of holds them back. Death Pack is also a decently long cooldown if you do die mid-use, so the uptime for their aggression is slightly lower. I think that's something Execration can abuse in this game.
So you're telling me Pos 1 Undying's been run before? Because I know Pos 3 Undying. I've even seen mid Undying, right? But position 1 Undying. You're telling me this has been talked about?
I've heard rumblings for some reason. I've heard people ask me about it. So I'm like, All right, I guess it's happened somewhere that I'm not aware of. I know the off lane would Fate Beyond, but safe lane, yeah, I guess in the same, it hits the same spikes, right? It hits the same spikes. The issue is you don't have a big farming win condition from Execration. So if you do taper off in timing, maybe say 35 minutes if your Undying does go off to a good start. If you hit past that mark, it can fall flat. I don't know if you could really shift farm towards BDZ and expect him to be a late game core on the support monkey. That can happen, but it's very rare. It does take a lot of effort down the line. So you do have to play really fast, and Dreammaker, well, they've got the clinks. To a certain extent, they want to play quick, but they could also just stall out and get really big in that one hero and just run you down the line.
Let's see how this one pans out. I'm very intrigued to see how Execration make this one work. I guess you do always have the Night Stalker and the Leshrac as well to try and transition into that big kind of carry role if you do need it. But I am very, very intrigued to see how Tino intends to make Pos 1 Undying look good here in this game number 1 against Dreammaker. They may just be very confident though. I mean, they may just believe they're the better team here against Dreammaker, but I don't think it's fair to underestimate this team. I think yesterday they were underestimated. In Game 2, they were able to pull off the victory. And again, they've got that Clinks again for CDR that he made look pretty damn busted yesterday.
Yeah, he did play spectacularly well. Is this a support Pause 5 Mars? Shazam's playing it. He's your support, right?
It might be. Chantai Visuk, though, has been caught out early on, and First Blood immediately is going to go Bob's way. It's a great start here for the mid lane of Execration. And I think you are probably correct on, John. I think it is going to be a position 5 Mars we're looking at, which I'd still say is much more normal than a position 1 Undying. Let's be fair.
Fair enough. We have seen support Mars before. It doesn't need much to really go online. You could probably just play with the Yules if things go south and just wait for the levels. They are getting a good cut off here on DM, so should be able to secure themselves some bounty runes. But the First Blood is already good enough for Execration. I don't think they'll mind if they lose out in bounty or 2 just to get that initial spike. See though.
Raging going to get a fair bit of harassment out. Trezam still trying. Be able to get away with the banner intact. And it is going to be a 3-for-1 trade, so definitely good news there for Dreammaker after feeding First Blood. They do at least get the bounty rune exchange going their way. And yeah, I mean, looking at these lanes, CDR is going to be indeed with his position 5 Mars. I suppose it makes enough sense. Nice kind of tanky frontline Pos 5 for your Clinks to make sure they can't really get to the Clinks. But you can already see Trezam. I mean, he does take a fair bit, but he gives so much harass back the way of Raging Potato, so we'll see how he does against BDZ and Raging, because BDZ's going to have a very good time just continuously proccing Jingu Mastery, I'm sure. See how this lane does work.
Yeah, it's a pretty wacky lane. I think for the most part, the key thing is, as you mentioned, CDR is just going to be able to focus on farm. He doesn't need to worry about harassment. He doesn't need to be worried about getting jumped by BDZ or being focused down by the Monkey King at all. So you should get some steady influx of gold here for CDR. Keen to see just how much he can get and how long Raging and BDZ can hold off. As the thing with support Mars is, you run up, God's Rebuke is 80 mana across each level. It does great damage. So when it comes to spell spam and harassment, it does feel like it has the edge over the Monkey King in terms of output. And even the Night Stalker early on is not going to be able to sustain too long against the continuous harassment of Trezam. So that is something to watch out for for Execration's offlane there.
Okay. In the mid lane, you've got Rose against Bob. Bob having a decent enough time, but Rose farming really effectively on this Wind Ranger. 9-0 right now in comparison to the 5-0 of Bob. I suppose with the power shot, you're always going to have a nice easy way of securing CS. Bob not going to be too flustered by it, I'm sure. Just going to make sure he gets his own CS going, but at least for now, it is definitely a pretty nice start here for Rose.
Yeah, it's a great start for Rose. I think the one thing for Bob is that the Wind Run makes it very hard for him to line up for the Split Earth, his main source of wave clear and harassment at the same time. So Rose can just kind of abuse that, go against the slow from the Lightning Storm, and keep building up. And so far, so good. It should even out in a bit. The big threat for Bob is once he hits 6, even level 5 can start to feel really nice with his spell damage. And eventually, the Wind Run's just not going to cut it in terms of saving himself. So Just have to ride out the early spikes here for Bob. Should be manageable enough. Does give us time to look at the last lane down bot. You see Tino on his pause 1 Undying, dealing with a bit of a pull. Is supported by RR on his line. Of course, they are up against CZY on the Venge, and Chantavisuk on his Tide, which we have confirmed is the right pronunciation, so I'm very happy to hear he's pleased.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like he said it in the lobby. I also got a question about my anime profile pic. Very happy someone took interest in the manga.
Who took interest in
Oh,
that?
it was CTR.
Who?
It was one was it? It was CTR in lobby for some reason, but I think that's CZY. In the end, let's double check my profile picture. No, it's CDR. Yeah, it was CDR who took interest. So there you go.
The
He's a
CDR's
weeb as well.
a degenerate. All right, well, we'll remember that. Thank you for that, Jonathan.
You can see Tino leveraging the decay. It's a strength hero he's up against, so always feels a bit good. But Chantavisuk can kind of sustain against that, and Anchor Smash is still great against him dying. You have to watch how low you get here, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Soul Rip gonna fly out. It is a substantial amount of damage from this pos 1 Undying, and of course Tino still gonna be able to clear waves very effectively with that decay. Meanwhile, top lane Trezam almost ends up dropping here to BDZ. Again, he's always gonna have a bit of a struggle here against the monkey as couriers going all over the place. Eventually BDZ will have to settle for the Mars courier, but could still try to go after the Clink Swan, as he is trying to predict where the courier's gone, and it's going to run into him if he's just a little bit patient, but he'll miss out in the end. Very unfortunate there for BDZ.
Yeah, but he is kind of evening out the map just because of it, right? Like, there's not much he can really do to apply too much pressure on the lane itself. Nice jump forward, though.
Yeah, they got the Void out. Do they have detection? Well, BDZ, he has a Sentry, but not really worth wasting it. Wouldn't have been a kill onto CDR anyway. Would have been just fine. So overall, I mean, these lanes, they're just so weird, but it does feel like Dreammaker are having a decent enough time here. I mean, Tide, top of the CS board. CDR right behind him on the Clinks. In fact, now he takes over. And I appreciate Tino and his pos 1 Undying, but, you know, it's to be proven how effective this is going to be, as at least BDZ is very effective in this position for Monkey King. Gets another kill. This time around, it's going to be onto Trezam.
Nice, clean pickup. Does give himself some much-needed EXP as well on that Monkey King. So, building up there. Still, Raging is, you know, despite the range disadvantage he has against CDR, still building up the CS on Night Stalker, not dying, which is really the important bit for the offlane, and should still have decent enough spikes. It's going to be hard to play against a highly farmed Tide early on, though. Chantavisuk already having the Ring of Health and the regen ring, so he is fairly tanky despite all the strength stealing you can do. We talked about this before. When you drop that HP percent on something like this with high regen, if you don't really kill him off, then he's going to heal up faster because he has hard HP regen, and you know it fills up, and once the decay goes off, it goes back by percentage. So Chantavisuk's just holding that lane just fine, and Tino's not getting as much presence as he'd want here.
Certainly not. I mean, you'd think with the Undying, you kind of need some support to be around. Now RR gonna get caught out. Nice easy kill there for CZY. And that's the thing, like, if you're gonna capitalize on this Undying in the laning phase, you do need a support there to help you out. I suppose they are a bit unlucky because Tide with Kraken Shell makes it very hard. So the stuns just don't last long enough to actually get any damage out onto that Tide Hunter. Which is probably why RR hasn't even bothered sticking around down at the spot lane. Yeah, I mean, I'm still very, very curious as to where this pos 1 Undying goes after the lane. Is Execration now going to smoke up? Bob and RR going to make their way down bot, and with these two around, they should be able to kill off Chantavisuk. But he's read the movement and has backed off at the right time. RR has his smoke broken, and nothing's going to come out of it.
Yeah. It's a pretty tough target to go on to now with his level 6 up, although Chantavisuk does opt to go for Kraken Shell to clear out these massive stacks. So if he was top of CS a while ago, it's going to be even easier for him to clear this out. And he even has CZY to help out the cause, as his Anchor Smash is physical. So Wave of Terror gives him even more value there. The scan is out, but they are just a bit too late in the response there on Execration. And so far for Dreammaker, it's all lining up. Like this earlier slow start is playing into their strengths. It's giving CDR time to farm for that Maelstrom we've been talking about. Shantavisuk is really hard to kill off with Hood of Defiance up, and he is going to be rushing the phase boots into Blink. Considering this early farm he has, it's not going to take too long to find those initial items up.
BTS going to jump in after CZY. They've got the Venge, and well, CZY should be dead here. Hex is out. Jingu Mastery procced, and BDZ takes another kill for himself on the Monkey. That'll be his full Orb of Corrosion now being finished up on the Monkey King. So definitely very nice rotations in from BDZ. So the amount of farm that Shantavisuk ended up getting on that Tide with all those stacks being taken. This Tide is going to be absolutely massive. Going into the phase boots, and his blink timing is going to be very, very fast at this rate. Especially if his team goes back and stacks up some more. Nothing comes out of it though. Mid lane looks like they are going to be fine.
It is what it is, right? You get a good shackle. Power shot is good damage, but what can you really do afterwards? And the javelin is there. It is a level 1 shackle, so the duration's not that long and you can't really focus fire. BTZ is still doing a good job of running around. Spots out CDR. So he is keeping track of that farm. CDR does not have a quelling to cut a tree. He's just going to have to walk away as they are grouping up top.
Absolutely, Trazam in trouble, but nice spear. Out on Raging, but he understands there's not really any getting out. He's going to have to let himself go down here to the Night Stalker. Raging pick up his first kill of the game. Feel very nice about that. He can get to work into that top tier 1 tower now. So you don't really have Bob too close by, but I suppose he could get there in about 10 seconds. You probably are going to need that Diabolic Edict to really just burst down that tier 1 tower. BDZ? He's got tabs on CDR. That's a big pick-off if they can get it. He hasn't got the Maelstrom up yet, so you'd love to kill him off right now and just delay that Maelstrom timing. But nobody's coming from Execration. They are focused on that top tier 1. So CDR is eventually just going to be able to back off anyway. And in the meantime, Dreammaker, they are starting to force in and pressure that mid tier 1 tower. So they are getting some value out of this top tier 1 going down.
Some pressure on mid's always good. I think the big issue I'm seeing from Execration is they are getting some farm on Tino. He is using the Tombstone to clear out camps. It is rather efficient. It's clearing out 2 camps at once. So I guess that's the play, but they're not really stacked up. So you're not getting as much farm here on Tino as compared to Shantavisuk as we saw. And they're still building up more Ancients as well to clear out CDR. Getting work done with just the Javelin. It does feel like he can get that done. And of course the Wave of Terror is there to kind of amp up if they need it. So despite losing the top tier 1, Dreammaker still has control in the triangle, which is where most of the farm's flowing anyway. And they really don't mind. CDR, Maelstrom's already up. It's just flying out now.
That it is. Good times ahead for DM. He just sits in the triangle, just keeps up the great work. Ancients are Klink's best friend. And with that Maelstrom, these Ancients are going to be cleared out a lot faster. Though he mistimes the stack a little bit. We'll just pretend nobody saw that. Rose, he's going to have his Maelstrom up as well on the Wind Ranger. A few hundred gold away. So multiple Maelstroms up very, very soon. Tino. So he's going for the Echo Saber, right? Like this is the itemization we're expecting.
Yeah, it's really the slow stacking along with just how strong his Flesh Golem can be early on with the damage amp and the AoE slow. So you just stack on the slow with the double hit. Slow with the Tombstone can be good. Rose down mid though.
Ooh, ends up going down. Bob able to secure a kill, and RR looks to set up there with the Earth Spike and the Hex out. It's so funny seeing this. Like Tino has just popped everything to try and clear this Ancient stack, and it's working, obviously. I suppose he doesn't really want to fight anytime soon, so I suppose it's just fine to pop the Flesh Golem and the Tombstone and just kind of abuse it to farm up faster. And as much as it disgusts me to see it, John, he's actually catching up in farm. It just looks so weird to me. But he's just about 500 gold behind the Klinks.
Yeah, it's not a bad timing at all, considering how much faster Klinks can farm. The Echo Saber looks like it's flying out. So we'll see how much impact he will have with the added slows, with all the strength he has on hand, stealing out decays. It does sound good on paper, and we'll just have to see if that does transition. The side of Dreammaker going 5-1, but they've got the net worth lead. They managed to take that bot tier 1, so they are opening up the bot jungle a bit. Chantavisuk, he's got Ravage if he wants to play, but the blink is still about. It's up now, but it's not quite in his inventory.
No, it's not. Nice tree cut there. Swap out as well from our Venge. However, he is completely surrounded on this tide. Chantavisuk, he can get the Ravage off, but there's absolutely no point in throwing it out. CZY probably going to be the second to go down as Trezam tries to help out with the arena and does at least get BDZ. So you got something, but you might lose a bit more now as CZY. He does go down and eventually Trezam is also slowly going to die to Bob with the Pulse Nova. Bob will indeed take the kill for himself in the Leshrac, so definitely a very favorable kind of team fight going the way of Execration. And Raging, he's still looking for more. The tail end of that Dark Ascension, but now it does wear off and he'll have to go back to the drawing board, back to farming for the Night Stalker. But still a great team fight.
Works out really nicely for Dreammaker. They managed to get the punish. For Execration, they managed to get the punishment on Dreammaker and continue to buy out space for our Undying. No one's really checking in on Tino. At the same time, no one's checking in on CDR. So it looks like both sides are comfy enough getting the farm war going. CDR is building up that net worth lead back up with the lack of stacks for Tino. So this is the natural state of things. Klink's farm is starting to eclipse. Gleipnir timing looking to be on point as he's just lacking the recipes for both the Atos into the Gleipnir. So he's going to be ready to join these fights with the control he has soon. And once that timing's met, it's going to be pretty hard to deal with him. So,
mid lane, they do end up finding Raging Potato. And with that kill, it seems like they can start to set up into that mid-tier 1 with the Ravage and the Blink up. Execration definitely not quite prepared yet to fight back.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
What's the next item, John? After the Echo Saber, what does Tino build? In fact, hold that thought, because we might get into a team fight now, but no, we won't. The Tombstone's down. Execration definitely don't want to fight without that, nor their Night Stalker. So what's Tino going to build next?
I don't know. I honestly, legitimately don't know on the pause 1. Maybe an Axe Rush doesn't sound bad. That's the extent of my imagination. I guess a Shivas, a Lotus could sound good, but they're not necessarily great for damage dealing. Bob being scouted out by CDR.
Bob gonna drop. Nice little pick up there for the side of Dreammaker. A very important pickup, in fact. And I'm waiting, John. I'm patiently waiting. That's the thing, right? Like I want to add some information here, but it's like, well, what am I gonna say? I don't know what to expect yet. Tina hasn't queued up anything else. Big courier snipe from BDZ though. That was the full Gleipnir of CDR. So that's definitely gonna hurt the side of Dreammaker, at least for the next 2 minutes. They'll be lacking that, and might mean they have to sit back and keep the farm up. On the brighter side though, John, CDR already has the Gleipnir. So while he doesn't really have it with him, he's already bought it out. And that's going to be a pretty concerning sign for Execration.
Yeah, it's that big spike for the Clinks. Like, once he gets that control off, just land the Burning Barrage, he's pretty much going to melt through everyone. Maybe not an Undying with lots of strength stolen, or a Night Stalker who can be protected. And speaking of...
Oh, Rose ends up dropping here on the Wind Ranger. Raging Potato able to pick up that kill. Execration. They'll keep going for more. It looks like they might just try and set up onto this bot tier 1 tower. Kind of weird to see this going down before the mid tier 1, but I mean, Dreammaker, they're doing the exact same thing. Only difference being they've actually got the opposing mid tier 1 tower down already. Nevertheless, both teams will do it. Just trade those opposing tier 1s. So 2.5k gold. What's he buying? Queue it up, Tino. Show us the secrets.
I want to see. I'm an Undying player. I would love to learn. I feel like on paper it's Ags, because you go for the decay talent damage, and increased strength steal means that you're also dropping your HP faster, so the damage just keeps scaling and scaling and scaling. I can see the shard being really good as well on a core Undying, with emphasis running up front with Flesh Golem for the damage amp and slow. An additional Tombstone Zombie kind of spawning with each attack. Does sound busted. I think that's actually the reason you go Echo Saber. 2 hits, immediately 2 zombies.
We go again onto the Night Stalker, Raging Potato. Gonna try and survive as they will make the jump in. CDR, he's been caught out. They've got the Clinks and Raging's gonna fly his way out as now Shazam is gonna drop and Chantavi Sook, he's the last man standing. A big Ravage though, and now the turnaround with the Shackle. It didn't land, it won't matter. Rose, he still gets the kill, but now CZY is gonna be left behind. Rose the only one left. There's Tino. He'll chase him down. A big zombie here in Tino. Rose just gonna have to run, but BDZ still chasing. It won't matter though. They won't have any more lockdown for the Wind Ranger.
That worked out for the way of Execration. You're seeing the effect of Tino just standing in front, playing with his aura, and just getting a pretty good position for his Tombstone. So it sort of shows us the power of the Undying. He did buy a BKB out, I believe, so he's just looking to maintain his position up front in fights. I think he's going for Blink. All right, so he's just actually just diving in, using the Flesh Golem with the damage amplification and slow, and the strength multiplier he gets to be a huge target up front, getting the big hits off of the Echo Saber. I feel like the Shard is super value though. Like, lower cooldown in Flesh Golem means more uptime in fights, and the zombies again with a double hit is pretty good.
Rose gonna try and back his way out. Raging has Dark Ascension but needs some help. He's running circles right now around Rose, but the Shadow Blade is about to wear off. Courier not gonna get hit, and now Raging. Focus fires out. The help is not close enough. He'll get the Crippling Fear off. Hex is there. Maybe it is close enough because he makes it just in the nick of time. And Raging Potato will walk out with his life intact. And in the meantime, the rest of Execration, they take the mid-tier 1 tower. Bot lane Raging is still playing on the edge here. They jump in again with RR. CDR is around though with the Burning Barrage, and he takes both of them out. In fact, they found Bob on the left track. Bob, he's going to get swapped back in by CZY, and eventually CDR will be able to get it done. So they do end up getting a little bit greedy at the end.
Good punishment out from Dreammaker. Execration, I think they should have been happy with just finding that kill. It was already on bleeding edge there for Raging, not respecting the rotation out from the Clinks. He's fast. They don't really have the sentries around the area to watch the movement in. They kind of lose out. So that should open up a push potential here for Dreammaker down bot. They're dragging down the Wind Ranger. Damage of CDR is really good, so it shouldn't take too long to clear out these towers. BDZ is keeping an eye of them. He does have Wukongs, but he does need help to actually do something here.
Oh, certainly so. He's gonna try. He's got an Echo Saber up, so he'll move in. CZY is gonna be targeted, but a nice shackle to lock down BDZ. However, Tino's right behind the scary zombie, and look at BKB being popped. Tino's massive. CZY having a towering zombie over him. Oh, what a scary thought. They thought they had the kill on BDZ, but Tino just sneaks up from the backside. Is it working? I can't tell. I don't think it's working. Well, they get another kill on Shazam. I guess they get a 4-for-nothing trade. Who's winning, John? Well, where's Dota Plus? The Dota Plus seems to think it's Dreammaker. So
it's fair enough. They've got the actual win condition in their side, but I'd say this is working. I think the Blink BKB Echo Saber Undying is actually doing its job, and there's the Shard. So he is queuing up the Ag Shard for the lower cooldown Golem. He's got the zombie damage talent. I think that's what it's all about. You jump in, drop a good Tombstone, use Echo Saber with Flesh Golem up to get 2 immediate hits to spawn 2 zombies on the attacks. You get plus 50 damage on paper there, hitting the target. You're getting more slows out. You're getting more strength as the fight drags on. You're amplifying damage, and it's strong on paper. We just need to keep seeing more of it. But so far, Tino's 5-0-3. I don't know what you're saying. He's making it work. It's 5-0-3.
I think once the Shard's up, it's going to look really busted. I mean, you've kind of talked me into it now. But I do believe, once the Shard is up, I mean, if he's really going to spawn 2 zombies on attack immediately, plus the tombstone zombies, it's going to be pretty impossible to get away. Does he still have the talents for zombie damage? Yeah, he's already got it.
Okay.
Alright.
It's painful.
Oh, I imagine it would be.
There it is. The shard's up. So I want to see them take a fight. I want to see Tino jump in, pop BKB, flesh golem, drop the tombstone, get 2 hits, 2 zombies up, and every attack will give you a zombie as well.
Top lane. Chantar Visok gets caught out and ravages big. Trezam, he's going to move in with the arena and Rose is going to show up as well. Shackles will not really latch Tino. He's going to just try and walk away for now, but in they go again. Let the zombies spawn up as CZY tries to help him out. The CZY is going to slowly but surely die. Tino forced the BKB up, a nice burning barrage in from CDR. BDZ, he's going to try and run the hell out, but Magic Missile will land and eventually he might just die. But Primal Spring is there and he just jumps out and makes it as Raging now. Pops the Dark Ascension. That'll scare off the rest of Dreammaker. But in the end, the Dark Ascension is just simply going to be to zone them out, I think. Raging? Good try. He's going to give it a crack. Chasing down the monkey. BDZ shows up now. Maybe he can do it. And CDR, he's gone.
It's a pretty big kill to take considering what they traded out for it. And Dreammaker, they're not building up a lead despite having the Clinks, despite having the Tide, despite that early farm coming through for Chantar Visok. It's actually shaping up for Execration because they're taking the engagements. They're winning the fights. They're winning trades, Rose.
Stun off. It'll be a nice, massive pick off. Rose trying to wind run, but there's no helping him. He's just going to die. And it is one of these drafts, like, what we start to figure out over time is it's just not all about Tino. You've got, like, 3 different carries right now in Execration. You saw Raging can pretty much kill CDR by himself. Bob can do the same. And so can Tino, apparently. And I think that's what really enables the POS 1 Undying.
Look at this. Look at all the zombies he's going to spawn hitting Roche.
Oh, there they go. Look at them stack up.
Look at the damage.
We can't see how many. I wish there was a number. We could see how many. Jesus. Have a look at that. Look at this. Here we go onto the bench. Spear is there. There's no escaping for CZY. This is so stupid. I mean, you know you've been playing Dota way too many years when you see POS 1 Undying come out. And it's working.
Oh, yeah. Oh? Nah, just the illusion. Yeah, I'm happy. Someone kept bugging me about POS 1 Undying. It's working out, although...
Raging. Alright, Raging. Hold on a minute. Your team's backed off, sir. He's going to try and escape now with his BKB. Dark Ascension's up in a couple, but he's going to drop. Rose does manage to get the kill. Raging, very risky play. Does end up dropping.
And that is kind of Raging style, though, right? High risk, high reward sometimes. Doesn't quite pay off this time, and it's a nice pick off for Dreammaker to have. That's some EXP as well for the Venge, making use of that Ags really well. So you are getting something out here. Execration still maintain that less than 1k lead, around 1k. Tino still keeping up with farms somehow with CDR and Chantar Visok, so it's still shaping up, and they could look to fight again.
BDZ's getting all the vision they need. Jump in, Rose going to be targeted, but he will pop his BKB. But Tino's here. Here comes Tino. Won't matter though, the BKB is going to make it rather tough to actually fight Rose, but maybe after the BKB he can turn back around, and yeah, that's going to be the case. Bob, he's there. He's died, but it won't matter because you got the Wind Ranger, but now Chantar Visok is in with the Ravage, but Tino, he's going to move in with the BKB. Chantar Visok's going to drop. In we go. Onto CDR. Can you kill him? Yeah, you can. Apparently, they'll get him down with the Aegis. That'll mean Flesh Golem is down as well, I believe, as Tino will sneak him onto CDR once again. BDZ's man fighting. He'll take down the bench, and eventually they get through him. A full team wipe out, and they will protect the Observer Ward and the Tombstone.
They left the Tombstone alone. They have so many ranged heroes on Dreammaker, but they ignored the Tombstone. You can't leave it alone when the Undying goes for the Tombstone zombie damage. Like, you see it. It just racks up. The slow gets really annoying as well. They couldn't reposition on the Clinks despite being a highly mobile hero. They do find Aegis and 1 kill. Pretty nice for Dreammaker. Not enough to turn the tides. And somehow Execration have that 3k lead. So, yeah, the draft is working. Tino is going for the overwhelming blink. Nah, he switches out AC. So more hits. More hits means more zombies. More zombies means a potential PC crash. If you're not up to spec on your system, so you better watch out in your pubs. Make sure your PC could run Dota 2 properly. Seen that before though.
Then Tombstone down. Rose always been hexed up. He couldn't get the BKB off in time, and that's probably going to mean the death. Oh, Finger. I believe Finger was an ancient creep. So Rose is going to be able to get out. Bob, he's stuck behind now. They'll keep the fight going. Bob is going to survive. At least Tino does get stunned up, but can they take him down? He is so tanky right now. He's got 5k HP. How do you kill him? On they go. CDR's going to show up. Tino, he'll just keep moving forward. Over 5k worth of HP.
Oh, you gotta love it. I love it. Reminds me of Undying's glory days. I would not do this in my pubs. I would immediately get reported. But you can see what happens when you do have a coordinated team around it. And like, they've got burst damage on RR. They have really great control coming out from Raging. They've got Bob to actually do a lot of AoE magic damage to help them. And I think that's the key. You need a lot of good AoE when you've got the Undying built up this way, because it's all about getting that damage spread out across everyone. Because Tombstone's always going to run. You build up the K stacks. You make it hard for the opposing team, in this case Dreammaker, to kind of target prioritize. Who do you really jump? Because if you don't jump Undying straight up, then he just builds up the K stacks. The AC is up and running as well, by the way. So more attacks and
he saw CDR. CDR ran right past the sentry for a second. Raging gonna slow him up. Crippling Fear's there. RR. Earth Spike is gonna be on target. And that means CDR might just be down as Trezam. He doesn't have the arena up yet. Nice swap though. CZY will save the day. It will cost him his own life. As now the BKB's around. Trezam immediately bursted down and Rose. He's gonna keep trying to fight. But needs the Packers. The Venge. The illusion's just being followed by zombies, but a big ravage. Shunt up, we saw keys in. They'll go on to RR. Tino, can you keep fighting? It looks like he'll try. CDR, he'll be chased out by Bob, and Bob's got the kill. Back in onto Tino. He's not dead yet. He moves back in. And he gets the kill onto the Wind Ranger. Oh, my pubs are ruined again. GG's. I'm not happy, John.
I'm happy.
I can't.
Undying pause 1. Thank you to the people who used to ping me about this. There you go. I was wrong. I'll admit it right here on stream, because I said, it's like, yeah, on paper it works, you know, with the Tombstone, with your Golem form, with the Shard. On paper it sounds like it would work. I just felt like there's enough ways to punish it. Specifically from Dreammaker's draft, they had like 3 ranged cores. Well, 2 ranged cores and a ranged support that could just focus down the Tombstone. They couldn't. And even if they did, Undying with Echo Saver just immediately giving 2 zombies anyway kind of makes that hellish for the talent. So they play spectacularly well on Execration to make it work. Do not advise it for your pubs. An exact 30-minute end to that game, Dreammaker. They went back to something that worked yesterday. Doesn't pan out in this first game. We'll have to see. Do they ban out Undying for Tino? Who knows?
Shit, he went 14-0-11 on that Undying.
Yeah. Absolutely
That's
Undying in his playstyle.
That is not good.
It's great. Yeah, it's not good. It's amazing. It's great. Fantastic. How am I ever going to play support Undying again?
How am I ever going to play again, John? That's my question. We're going to head off to a short break, and right after that break, we're going to be back with game number 2 between Execration and Dreammaker. We'll see you then.